Now the winter landscape with some rocks, boulders and grass to busy up the foreground is our focus on this occasion. And my colours are ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, alizarin red, light red, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre and titanium white. Welcome back to You Can Paint Painting Tips, a winter landscape. Now this sequence is about painting boulders in snow and also spiky grass that seems to find its way through the snow cover. Okay, let's look at this technique of painting rocks. Now I'm going to do it here, not on the painting, to get the technique right. So I've got the big brush. I'm going to run it into that paint mix we've got up here, which is that grey. Of course it's going to be grey because it's going to take on the nature of the sky, and the sky's predominantly grey. Well, watch this. Here's my paint. I'm looking at it again. Now, the boulders and the rocks in the snow, 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 stroke. Now that's pretty simple. Let's add 2 more features to that. That's flat. We need to make that 3-dimensional. So I'm going to add a little bit of light because it's coming from the right hand side, remember? And I'm going to go to my little brush, this one, and I'm going to make it a bit sloppy, put it in the terps, in the thinner, back up here to a little bit of red and a little bit of blue. And that gives me a dark. Now on the leeward side of the rock, we're going to have the shadow. So up in here, we're going to see the shadows. So let's take that technique and do it on the painting itself. Simple, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Well, back to the rock grey with a hint of brown for the rock itself. And I'll start with one at the base of the forward tree. Hard to see the difference, isn't it? Well, that's to be expected. It's in snow. Some more to the left and further back. Doesn't seem much yet, but be patient. If I wanted rocks without a snow effect, these would be a real dark brown grey. Take a look at this other clip for these rocks. Now here I've mixed a rock only colour and using the same technique lay in the shape of the rock. With the liner brush I paint in the shadows. Now a bit of the rock taking on some of the sky colour but not the snow. And now a few dollops of white for the snow, and presto, we have the same rocks but with less snow cover. Point is, it's the same technique. 3 strokes, then a light, then a dark accent for the shade. Okay, now back to covered rocks and the small brush to pull them out with the shadows. Some clean blue lines for shadows on the side away from the light. Over to the rocks at the base of the big tree. It's thin, so it hangs on the top of the other paint. More of the same until the shape becomes clearer. Little marks can suggest just as well as larger dramatic marks. Now a snow mix to sit on the rock and show up the light. There, now that tells us something about what the shape is. See, we don't have to be dramatic to get a message across. Sometimes a subtle hint is all we need. The brain joins the dots. Over to the others jutting up out of the snow. A dot here, a dot there, Let's see how that looks at the viewer's distance. Ah, you caught me. You see, you think I was cleaning the brush, but no, I wasn't. I was getting that fan again, because now we're going to paint the grass, and it, in the snow landscape, runs in a line, and it finds its way through the snow. So this fan, these hairs here, are going to be perfect. If I scoop it through that yellow ochre, see the stroke I've got there? If I do that here, see that effect? Well, why not take that straight over to the painting and do that? If it's that simple there, surely it's simple over here. And it is. Watch. The brush is lateral, so the hairs also, and with a flick up and out, I should get the same grass lines. Yep, that's the technique, folks. So it's more of the same. A little darker now, run through the previous, will add third dimension to it. A flick of grass into the snow hole, and yep, that's exactly what happens. It melts the snow. All we need now is some fine flicks with the liner brush to establish shapes better. Up and down at the very front where we see the individual stalks. And this brush is perfect for this. So I bet you want to know how I did that as well. Well, the liner brush, a simple mix over here of a darker yellow, and notice I'm rotating the brush so that it's got a little chisel to it. See that? Well, if I take that back over here, and I know the shape of that, so I'm not making this up, I'm not guessing what it is. I know because I'm looking at it. So if I actually look at it when I drag it up, I know I'm going to get a knife thin line. And that's all it is. So I'll finish this off and I'll catch you on the next element to this evolving winter landscape. Easy, isn't it? Now here's a glimpse of what we do next. Paint in the snow.